All right, one of the last steps, mulch and landscape. You guys, landscaping is such an important part of the entire project. To me, it's what actually makes or breaks the entire thing. Without the landscaping, the pond actually fails completely. So I want to give you guys just a couple pointers on the landscape to make it that much easier for you to enjoy your pond. So when thinking of the plants for your pond, the easiest thing to do for you novices is really just read the tags. What does the plant do? Does the plant get 2 feet tall, 4 feet tall, 12 feet tall? Does it get 5 feet wide, 10 feet wide? These are really, really important things. And once you've kind of figured out what the plant does, then you want to figure out the location for those plants. And this is the easiest part. Low stuff in the foreground, right? So you can see back behind me to my left over here, your guys' right, I've got a low growing Pacific blue juniper. That doesn't get much taller than 12 inches, but it'll spread out 4 to 5 feet. I love junipers, especially that Pacific blue juniper, because as it creeps, it's just gonna kind of creep over those rocks, making that pond look like it's been there forever. You want a little bit of color here and there. Don't be afraid to leave some spots even for annuals, just some pops of color here and there. And then one of the biggest things is the backdrop. The idea is when I look at that waterfalls, my eyes should stop at the waterfalls, not pay attention to the neighbor's yard, not pay attention to the neighbor's swing set, your swing set, whatever it's gonna be. Give a little bit of height. By giving it a little bit of height back there, it makes it a much more intimate feel up by the patio. If that was all low growing stuff, this pond would feel like a 5-gallon bucket in the middle of a football field. We want to create kind of a backdrop for it, almost a fence with color and green and flowers and everything else. Other than that, guys, it's in the eye of the beholder. It's how do you want to paint your final picture back here? Pretend it's like your Christmas tree. How would you decorate your Christmas tree? Are you adding tinsel? Are you adding colored lights? Are you adding white lights? To make it your own. But follow those couple of those simple principles. Low stuff around the edge of the pond, a little bit of height back behind your waterfall, some spots of seasonal color. I love doing bulbs in the spring, especially in Chicago, and see those tulips and the daffodils and everything kind of bringing some of that early color in. And as that stuff kind of withers away, then you've got daylilies and hostas and other things kind of coming up into its place. Have fun with it, you guys. There's not really a right or wrong way. So once you finish the landscape, then of course you want to mulch everything. I really prefer just a double ground hardwood mulch. I'm not a big fan of the dyed mulch. It takes away from the look of the plants. The plants should really be the showpiece, not the red mulch or the purple mulch. Stay away from that stuff. More importantly, that stained mulch. Every time it rains, a lot of that dye that they use, because mulch doesn't come red naturally, a lot of the dye that they use to create red mulch is gonna leach into your pond, and you don't want that to happen. So just stick with a nice double ground mulch, something that's gonna break down and over time help feed those plants a little bit more. So with that mulch, you don't wanna bring it too close to the edge, but you can see I've got it right up to the rocks. As that stuff kind of decomposes, it locks in a little bit. As the plants mature, the roots from all those plants actually help lock in the soil and everything else. Of course, the mulch is also there to restrict a lot of the weeds and stuff from popping up and everything else. But once you've got the mulch down, your plants down, the only other place I really wanted to spend a little bit of time with you guys is camouflaging that biofalls up there. We spend so much time and effort in hiding all the rock. Every square inch of rubber liner is hidden with rock and gravel. The last part that's kind of an eyesore to me right now is that biofalls up on top. And so there's a couple easy things you can do. There's definitely some pond enhancements that you can purchase separately. You can also use plants. Notice the Pacific blue juniper to our left over there, how that thing just kind of creeps over that edge. Notice the azaleas sitting back in the right-hand corner. As those things mature, they're gonna start cascading, kind of cantilever over the biofalls. I think so many times I see people wanting to look for a lid or a big flat rock that can sit on top of that to help hide it. And if we really take our time and stare at that for a second, if we put a big flat rock, it would even draw more attention to that space. If you can use a plant to hide an air conditioner, you can find the right plant to help disguise your biofalls. Just keep with that low growing stuff that'll kind of creep and grow over the edge. Who cares if it hits the water a little bit? And if you're still having trouble, look at some of those other enhancements that we have.